Hello and welcome. This is Alchemist X, and this is the weekly update. So I'm sorry that it took me an extra day to get this out. It has been a busy week. Also kind of a busy week in Alchemist Code because we have the next chapter of Genesis. And with it comes the Dark Phantom version of Julia and a corresponding memento. I have some more stuff to say about that when I talk about the banners. So yeah. But if you're new, this is like an event that we usually call a dungeon quest or box event, something along those lines, where you do quests and then that unlocks boss fights, and then you do the boss fight, and then that gives you coins that you then exchange for items that are on like a fixed distribution, but it's random in the order that you'll get them. And there's like a certain prize that you have to get before you can move on to the next set of prizes. And then eventually it becomes an unlimited set, but the prizes aren't as good as in the unlimited set. But I think it's definitely for anyone that's able, worthwhile, just because of all the gems, enlightenment materials, Zenny, etc. that you can get. So even if you're not into Genesis units, there's still a lot that you can gain from it. Especially this boss is looking pretty free-to-play friendly. So that's always nice. Just there's a lot of good wind missile units that are good free options, like Seda and Tamamo. And if you're lucky enough to have Roxy or Dark Artemis, they can help a lot too. But yeah, that's about it for Genesis. Consecrated Elements is around as well, so be sure to grab one of those keys every day. That quest is pretty much been power crept to this point, so most people with a good, solid carry unit or access to a good mercenary should have no trouble. Of course, the collab is still going on, and there are a few things related to that as well. This is the last week, by the way. I know I said that in my last video. So if you are looking to acquire any of the units, then this is the last chance to do so. And I'd like to point out that all three of them, the three gacha ones, are all available in the Louise shop if you're looking to finish up transmuting. I think that it's much more worthwhile to do that than to summon for them on a banner. I'll say more about what I think of the collab banner as well, because I think it could be very good for some people, but not necessarily to get the unit. So first up is a rank up quest. We've had one of these once before with Phantom of the Kill. It gets progressively harder as it goes up, and it's a good source of gems. And then they also introduced a hell level. I've only done a little bit of both of those, but probably know what to expect at this point based on the rest of the content from the collab. And then other than that, there is not a whole lot else. Of course, a dungeon quest is going to be pretty time consuming just because you have to do normal quest, hard quest, EX quest, fight the normal boss 5 times, the hard boss 5 times, and if you can move on to the EX boss, then yeah, that's... And then, like raising units to get to that level as well can be very time consuming. So yeah, with that, let's move on to a review of the banners. Alright, let's take a look at the banners. I am trying out a new format. I'm seeing how much I like it. I'm hoping it helps me focus a little bit, and then I can make sure that if, like, say the steps are important or something like that, I can hone in on them rather than just relying on the game's UI, which is constantly flashing different pictures, that kind of thing. So first up is a daily summon for items. Pretty self-explanatory. It's free, do it. Next up is a one-time summon with a guaranteed 5-star. Self-explanatory, do it. And then next up is a paid summon. So these can be very good or very bad, depending on what your needs are. If you have a very narrow focus, like you say there's one unit you really want, like say just Dark Julia, then this probably won't help you much because the chances of getting one unit in particular are pretty low. But if there's like pools of units that you want to get where like any one of them would be fine, or you're just trying to get like rare unit shards, then it might be worth your while if you're a moderate spender. But just remember 2 things. 1, nothing is guaranteed. And then 2, that you should know when to stop. Because you don't want to pass up, like, say, a Genesis unit, or maybe a little below that, maybe a good global unit, like, say, Red 6 or something, and you're on, your third or your second reroll onto the final step, you probably would want to just know when to quit, because I've definitely heard horror stories of the final roll just being nothing but farmables. So that is a risk. So be aware of that. Next up is a banner I would consider very good just because Genesis coins are the best way to get soul shards for Genesis units. But remember that you do have to already own the unit in order to buy their soul shards. So that does depend, their value will depend on where you are in that regard. But if you are a free-to-play player, then this type of banner and then the 7-step enlightenments where everybody's in the pool, those are going to be your best bet to try and pull some of these units. Not great odds, but still the best odds. But yeah, so that is about it. I would say definitely if you are not into the collab and you've got a discount ticket lying around, then this is probably where you want to put it. All right, let's move on. Oh, yeah, that's kind of sad because we're excited and amped up. I was like, yeah, this is really good for most people. And then we move on to one that is not good for most people. So I said I would talk about Dark Julia a little bit. As far as I can tell, please correct me in the comments if I am wrong. But from what I can tell, there is no good way to get her. Like, there's no path that I would feel responsible recommending to any of you, because this is the type of banner, this is like the type of banner that I did when I tried to get Narrow, but the difference between, say, some of the other Genesis units and Narrow with this type of banner is that they weren't split. This one, when you get to step 3, it's either Julia or Dark Julia. So that's really, really bad. If you're trying to, say, transmute Dark Julia, it makes it maybe impossible unless your, income is like literally unlimited or functionally unlimited. Nobody's got literally unlimited. But yeah, because she's not in the Louis shop, you moderate spenders can't really get that many shards of her because the amount of money you would need to spend for that gems purchased bonus is a lot just to get 100 shards. Well over like maybe 6-7 times what it would normally cost when they had like those 35 for 100 shards. It's pretty bleak. So as far as I can tell, if you don't get lucky on that Genesis coin banner, or if you're a spender on that paid banner, it seems like you just have to throw gems at this until you eventually pull her and or pop her on step 3 enough times to transmute her. And I just don't see that being worth it for anyone, because that could bankrupt somebody with like over 100k gems if they're unlucky enough. I mean, you guys saw how much I spent on the Narrow banner, right, to not pull her at all. And you could do more than twice that and see nothing. I don't like this banner. I don't like that it's split. If Dark Julie is your girl, I don't know what to tell you, because I would not recommend anyone, regardless of their spending level, of basically throwing their gems down the toilet for that. So that is a bummer. But again, if I'm wrong, if there is something I missed about acquiring shards for transmuting her, then please let me know in the comments. But yeah, let's move on. Okay, next up is a banner for the collabs where you can get a lot of collab coins, as you can see, up to 3,000. So the thing about this banner, let's look at the steps. You get a bunch of collab coins, but that is the only thing that is guaranteed. So if you are really looking to max out some of it, like say you went all in on Raftalia, for example, which not a bad idea, in all honesty, she's awesome. But that's all you get. But if you're trying to acquire them, then I don't think this is a good way to go. Because, you got 7 steps, nothing is guaranteed, no soul shards are guaranteed. I think you'd be better off, if you have to choose, spending your gems in the Louis shop, potentially on refreshes, potentially a lot on refreshes depending on your luck. But I think you could easily transmute the unit that you want for less gems than it would take to do all of this. However, if you've already got the acquisition of the unit taken care of, and you really, really want to fully enlighten them, then this might be worth your while. I would just make sure to look at the cost in coins for the units, because it goes progressively upwards the more you buy. And just make sure that it doesn't reach a like gem to shard ratio that is like egregiously more expensive than the standard rate of 80 gems per shard. But yeah, okay, enough about that. Next up is a banner I don't think anyone should do. It's Evelika is the only limited one. I don't even think that she's that great of a unit. And this is not, I mean, I think you'd be more likely to pull her on one of those random reroll, enlightenment banners, etc. So I don't think this is good for anyone. Next up, not really good for anyone either, because these are all farmable, but the 500 might be good for new players that still need normal pool stuff. Bad. 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 And that was it for units. So let's talk about mementos next. And there's not much to say on mementos compared to units. So there's a 9-step. There are 2 limited units here, Hazel's and Nika's. If you really, really like them, I guess. But otherwise, I don't really recommend this because it's expensive and I don't think it's worth the gems unless you're just absolutely all about either of them and you're willing to get the selector. And then next up, we've got the banner that has Dark Julia's memento on it. So if you somehow got really lucky or you found some way to end up with her and you've got another 20k gems left over afterwards, then this is how you would get her memento. From what I've heard, that she actually, you want to have regular Julia's memento more just for the snowball. But I'm not an expert. I have regular Julia and her memento. I'm not going for the Dark Phantom because it just seems too much. But otherwise, it's pretty standard fare. Just be prepared to go to step 9 if you really, really want the memento. It's expensive, but it's reliable. That's just how these things go. So yeah, that is it for the banner showcase. Next up, I'm going to do a pretty decent amount of summoning because I wanted to give a few rolls of the dice and showcase what happens. Okay, so let's start out with the free summon. I'm going to run it at 1.5 because I think that we'll save a little bit of time that way. Still see what I get. Not a huge range here. Oh, actually, I already told you what I got because this was, I did a lot of this stuff yesterday. So yeah, this was the AP lives that I mentioned. Good thing I didn't spoil anything else. So all right, let's see the unit one. So far, track record is pretty bad on these, but I imagine that's going to be most people's experience. Every once in a while, someone in the comments is like, hey, I got this something super awesome. And I always like to hear about that because it's nice to know, like, somebody managed to get the improbable thing. So we've got Oct. Not great, not terrible. I have all of her gates maxed. Fun fact about Oct is, like, I got all of her limited mementos wholly by accident. So I am going to do next the Genesis coin banner. I definitely think it is worthwhile, at least for me, because of the units that I want to raise. Even though some of my units are getting into the point where it's not super frugal in the Genesis coin cost. So we did in fact get a red. It is just gonna blitz through till we see what they get. And Zeba. Yeah, I got her maxed out too. I'm always slightly less annoyed when it's Templars though, just because I like them. So yeah, that is it for step 1. Let's see what step 2 gives us. Okay, let's move on to step 2. I always wonder, especially at the beginning, like, how is this going to go? How many of them are going to even have reds? Because I've definitely had some pretty busted up ones. Like that. Yeah, looks like nothing changed there. But that's okay. We still got 3 more steps left. Okay, and now it is time for step 3. Alright, this is the tense moment. Oh, well, at least we got a red, so, a few reds. And, looks like it's Icona. Yeah, you can tell a lot faster when it's sped up. Like, she just shows up right away. So yeah, that's cool. I was surprised by that for sure. Too bad I need more fire shards though. I kind of burned a bunch on Asuka and Still recovering ever since. So we have another red in the pool. And I wonder what... Oh man! 2 in 1 blow. This hasn't happened. Oh, yeah. And once again, this is the 3rd instance of 100 emerald shards I've gotten from one of these banners. So yeah, that means I guess that's time to max gate 3. That is definitely pretty crazy. This is this, I think, yeah, okay, I guess it's tied with the 2 emerald ones, but this is pretty good though. Alright, now it is time for step 4. I don't know, man. It seems very unlikely that I'm going to be able to top what we just had. Because, like, 2 Genesis in 1 go, I mean, it's rare enough to get 1. So, yeah, that one, there actually was a red in there, but it was Gerald. So, anticlimax. Alright, now we are on the final step. So, this will answer the question, is this going to be great? Or is it going to be super great? Well, we did. This is actually, I think this is the most reds I've gotten in the 5 steps, where only 1 was a total dud. But the rarity, you know, tons and tons of normal pool units doesn't really help anyone. So what are we at? 1 red left, assuming none of them change. I've seen a lot of Edwin lately. Wonder. All right, what do we got? Another one? Dang. It's a good day for redheads, apparently. Which, that's okay with me. Or, again? She flies around. Hey, it's Minario again. One of the... Alright. I'll raise him. I'm more or less set on water, so... we'll see what this guy can do, because... he just keeps showing up. Yeah, that's nuts. It's like two new units and 2 dupes, which led to 100 shards. Yeah, this is the best I've ever had results wise. But yeah, that is it for that banner. But we've got one more thing to do. Alright, so I am going to do this reroll banner. My packed paid gems pushed me up to a close enough level that I decided I'd do it. Gonna see what we get here. Decided to slow things down again too, so we can have a little bit of suspense. Also, if you're paying attention to like the editing, this is not all in chronological order. I just wanted to like end with like the biggest thing. Although, how are we gonna top that Genesis coin banner? Because that was absolutely insane. But we got Jin, who's farmable. Adelaide. Alright, I'm not going to lie to you. Probably just going to keep this because I don't have his gate 1 yet. And that would get me his gate 1. So, really it's a question of how much better can it get. And Julia. Alright. Yeah, that... I don't think I'm going to be able to... even if everybody else is farmable, I don't think... yeah, this is not something I'd want to pass up on. Siegfried, still getting enough for his gate 6, but otherwise he's set. So that's 3 limiteds in 1 go. That is what I would call a great result. Silly yellow, you're not fooling anyone. Yeah, so I'm gonna stop it here because that Adelaide and Julia and kind of bonus Siegfried, I guess. That is good. I don't think that's gonna be topped. So yeah, that is it for the week, and I hope you guys also had some good luck and have fun fighting that Beelzebub boss. And I will see you all next time.